What's going on, people? So it's been a while. I've been saying that I'm gonna sit down and talk about like the comic books I picked up or whatever recently, and I've been saying that for a while, right? And I'm finally doing it today because backlog has largely been cleared out. I got one more video, a Brooks video. I'll probably edit that maybe while I watch Dynamite or something later tonight, and maybe that'll go up tomorrow. If not, it'll go up Friday. But either way, I got some free time. Figure this is an easy thing to do. So I'm gonna knock that out real quick, right? Then, depending on time and whatnot, I'll talk about the Penguin a little bit because I finished that recently, like Tuesday, I guess. I think Tuesday. Sounds about right. So, okay, a couple things in here about like upcoming comic things and whatnot. It's Wednesday, right? So I went to the comic book shop today because that's the thing that people do, right? Wednesday is the day new stuff comes out. I don't know if everybody knows that, but it is. So I go over there with one of my coworkers, walk around, see what's new, buy some random stuff. Today we actually ran into a person that we kind of know that works in our building, and we just never really talked to him because we don't really talk to a lot of people. Anyway, so starting things off, we were just talking about this for some reason recently. This is that Spider-Man comic with Punisher, when he's like out to kill him and all that stuff. Got a lot of a glare there. Not sure how I can really show that because it's a foil cover. But either way, I picked this one up because, well, we've been talking about it. I don't know why, but we were, and then we saw it today, and I'm like, hey, check that out. I'm gonna get that. Why not? Also picked this up today. This is the Eddie Brock Carnage. It's the issue number 1 foil cover, right? So it's got that little shiny shimmer to it, which is always welcome. And just some pretty cool art going on in there as well. Big fan of that, right? Now, I buy a lot of these books, right? I don't always get around to reading them. Actually, I don't know that I've gotten around to reading any of them outside of like the actual paper book things where they cram all the issues into one. Sometimes I just buy stuff because it looks cool and I like the characters. I like Phoenix, saw this. Figured let's check that out, see what's going on with it. So pick that up. And this Magic one, it wasn't really on the radar, but I do buy a lot of Magic covers. One of these boxes, I think this top box is actually a Magic cover that was limited and whatnot. So this one kind of goes along with the art on this box that I picked up the other day. So that's one side of it. Other side right there, right? Apparently this was a hot commodity and sold rather quickly at the stores. So luckily I got it when I did. This Doom comic, mostly as a reminder that there's an upcoming Weapon X-Men thing that I want to read. There he is, and down in there, right? So I don't know what's going on with this, but this is issue number 1. So it's one of those ones like that I will probably read once the story is all kind of like coming together. And then these things just kind of talk about upcoming issues of various things, which I need to set these on the side and go through those so I can waste more money later, I guess. Yeah, that Doctor Doom thing, right? The one world under Doom. It looks like it should be pretty interesting, only based off of that one comic book cover that I saw, right? Because it had a lot of people that I like all in one thing, and I'm like, well, this must be fine, right? So I'll figure that out later. Probably wait for a couple issues to come out, then read it. I've been doing that with the new X-Men and X-Force and all those reboots and stuff. So I need to actually start reading those now because a lot of them are up to like 10ish. So I bought a bunch of Silverhawks covers the other day because when I was growing up, I was a big Silverhawks fan. It's just like the white one, If you ever meet the people that did art or something or wrote the story, you can get them to sign things. It's kind of a cool thing to do. So I saw this and I thought to myself, oh, I keep thinking this is upside down. I don't know. Like the other one had like the words at the top. It just throws me off. But either way, so I was a big Silverhawks fan when I was younger, so I thought I was going to pick these up because why not? Now, all of these issues that you're seeing here, all 5 or something of these, yeah, all 5 of these are going to be the same issue. It's all issue number 1. Can't really see that one because of the glare and whatnot. Let's see if I take it out. It's not as bad, but it's still not great either. But either way, they're all going to be issue number 1, just variant covers. Do you really need to do that? No, of course not. I say that all the time, but if I like the art, I'm going to buy it, and I like the thing also as far as Silverhawks goes. This one also a foil cover, so why not? And we were digging through some other box that we never really noticed and saw a bunch of cool stuff in it. So I picked up this one, And my coworker, he picked up something else. I can't remember. I think, looking at this now, I think I had this when I was younger. Something about this seems really familiar all of a sudden. But yeah, so we were like going through some random boxes that they had on the backside of the store. Saw this and some other cool things. There was one that I found. I let him get it, because he's a bigger Spider-Man fan than I am. I like the guy, right? But he's like a big fan, right? So I'm like, hey, man, I know you like the dude a lot. So if you want this, cool. If not, I'm totally going to get it. So he bought that one. It was like a crazy hologram see-through cover thing. It was very awesome. It was something Alpha, I think. I can't think of the name. And then this one here, just a Psylocke cover. What are they up to? Number 3 now, as it says down there. So saw this one, thought, oh, let's go ahead and pick that up, right? So I did. Set that down there. And I think no, that is not the last bag. Apparently it's been about a month that I've been saying this, because each one of these bags is from, 1 week's purchases, right? One Wednesday at a time. That's how I live my life. So anyways, here's this Magic cover from issue number 1, right? So there's that. It's got some interesting little art in there. This is the Rivals cover. There it is. The Marvel Rivals cover. They did a lot of these for a lot of different issues of things. Oh yeah. Okay, so this one, I almost bought the Virgin issue of this as well, because it was like, I would have bought it had I realized the price dropped, right? Because this one was like 150 or 100, something like that. No, it was 100 without all the art and stuff. I mean, without all the words and stuff, just the Virgin one. I was going to buy it, would have bought it, but I was a little late to the sale. This one, I think this is the Virgin one that I bought. Is this right? I don't know. I'll see when I open this box over here, because I honestly can't remember what it was. But I saw this one, liked it a lot, picked that up. A little foil action going on over here, right? So there's that. And this one, I don't know. Like, I saw it and I just bought it because it was there, and I was buying all these other ones, and I figured I'm just going to get this one as well. I don't know what this deal is with this cover. I'm not sure what all is going on here. Like, what this stuff is all even about. But, sometimes when you're just buying stuff, it's easy to add more stuff to your little cart there. Or in this case, like, I was just holding it in my hand. And that's one of those times when that is what happened, right? And, oh, okay, cool. I kept seeing this at the store today and last week, and I was thinking, like, didn't I buy this? But it's old, so I was wondering, like, they can't have a lot of these. So if I didn't get it, maybe I should now. But yeah, now that I'm going through these, I see that I do have this, which is all right. Big Dazzler fan. So that's really the only reason I picked that up. And I'm almost done with this, because I think this is a 5-issue set. So that's going to be Wolverine Revenge. I've been getting the red band ones, right? So they're supposed to be kind of like the rated R versions of comic books and stuff. So pick that up. Like I said, that's number 4. I feel like it's only going to 5. Hopefully it's only going to 5, because, I would like to read it. That's one that I've actually been keeping up with and buying each issue, kind of like the Dazzler stuff. So let's see about getting into this box here. This comes from, what is this? J. Scott Campbell, which is a pretty well-known guy in the comic art world. Let's see if I can figure out how to get into this thing. This is like the strangest box for some reason. I don't know what's going on. There we go. It's like, why is this not looking right? But anyway, so I saw this comic book on, it's not this guy's art, but it's, for whatever reason, he had it available on his, there's like stacks of cardboard in here, which is nice. And you see like the comic down there in the middle, because it really keeps it from being all messed up, which is good, because I spent like 2 something on this, 220, I think, 250. I don't know. I think it was like I think the comic itself was like 180, something like that. But then you got like a little bit of taxes in there and stuff. Trying to cut this thing without cutting the comic. That's always the thing, Why is, yeah. So I think it was after like all the taxes and all that. I think then that's when it came up to like just over 200, and this doesn't exactly say, but that's fine. And of course it's all super taped down on here. Geez, like, now I can't even get this thing off of here to even start looking at it. So I say the same thing about when I do get those, what is it, those Alex Ross comic book crate things or whatever they're called. It's the same thing happens with those. And there's tape on the back too. Like this thing is like actually taped down in here, right? There's a lot of stuff going on over here right now. It makes sense that they would protect your stuff and all that good stuff, right? But man, like after a certain point, it almost becomes excessive. So let's see, can I get into this now? Not quite, not quite. We're getting there though, because he has all this extra plastic on the back and everything. And I just want to get in here and see this cover thing, show it real quick, do that whole thing, you know. Part of why I'm sitting here opening this stuff. But it is what it is. I'm probably just going to having to put it in a different bag, depending on, maybe it's double bagged. If it's double bagged, that would be great. And it's looking like it may just be, which is good. Okay, fantastic. So there you go. Same thing as you saw a second ago, right? Just this time around, it doesn't have any of the art stuff, any of the words on there. So yeah, this was by David Nakayama, I think that's the name. And he made the art, he did the cover, but it was sold out everywhere. But then I saw it in stock on J. Scott Campbell's website. I'm not sure why he had it. Then I did some research just to see who this guy was. Turned out it's a reputable source. So I gave him $180 plus some taxes and some shipping, whatever that came out to. And now I have the Virgin issue of that comic. Not super necessary. And in some ways, some people might think that's a waste of money. I get it. But at this point, don't we all waste money on something? You know, I think that's just kind of life. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get on into this last one. This is from Unknown Comics. I've been buying things from them lately. Like every couple months, I'll make like an order, right? So I don't buy from them a whole lot, but when I do, it usually hits pretty hard as far as prices go. So trying to get this out without getting these little what do you call it, styrofoam bits everywhere. All right. So because there's a whole bucket full of foam in here, and so now this thing is actually like double wrapped in its own little prison. Man, these again, I like what the comic book people are doing as far as like keeping your stuff like where you can trust that it won't be like messed up or anything like that, but it just gets to be a bit of a hassle trying to get into all of this, especially when there's no like clear way to really start with like the tape and everything sometimes. So I think we're good here. Cut that. Because I went through this same thing with something recently where I would tear off like a bunch of tape and then there's like more tape under it. But because it was everything's clear, it just becomes hard to even see it. So, but we're getting in there. Should probably put this knife down so I don't end up cutting my finger again. Okay, so there's one layer off. Now we get on into this piece. Jeez. Okay, there's tape there. Get the tape all done up. All right, we're almost in, people. Almost, but not quite. So they have this inner piece like wrapped up like a Christmas present, which is nice. It's like Christmas in February, I suppose. All right. Now we can get in here. And this one arrived like forever ago. I wanted to do all this stuff all at the same time, and I'm finally now getting to it. I'm gonna have to put up a picture later, but this one right here, it's a connecting cover situation. So it's gonna make this whole danger room picture, right? So, and they did have a Virgin style of this too, but this one was already expensive. This is what, 9 comics, right? And they're all like a special edition thing. So I don't know. I think it was, maybe like 100-ish, 200. I don't know. I'm not even gonna guess. Well, I guess I did already guess, but I'm not going to commit to anything. Then you got Jean Grey and Sunspot on this one, right? Like I said, I'll throw a little picture in the community posting section. So, Nightcrawler got his own cover. I don't know what that was. Camera just kind of cut off for a second, but then it came back, so that's good. I'm making it seem like the connection was bad. But anyway, so then you got Cable and Mr. Sinister. Probably a bigger Mr. Sinister fan than I am of Nightcrawler sometimes because I've been reading more with him in there, and you know, I don't know. There's layers to the guy that are very interesting, and seeing his powers and like what he can do when he cares to do something. It's pretty impressive. Beast and Storm on this one, kind of not really focusing so much in there. Wolverine and Magneto here in the middle. I do remember this is the middle photo. All right. Up next, what's this? So we got Gambit here, and there you see like this would be like the side where Magneto would be, right? So change it around. It's kind of like that. So again, you just got to put all these covers out, and then you'll get a nice little picture. Rogue, she's also got her own cover, right? Not sharing the spotlight with anybody. Then there's Cyclops with a foot in his face. So there's that. Yeah, so those are all the comic books that I picked up over the last, I guess, month or so. So I'll start giving those some reads here and there, right? I mean, the Danger Room thing, I bought that solely to, they put that out there and it's like, it's super inconvenient to display that anywhere. Like, it's really just one of those things that I'm just going to have, right? It'll be in a box, but I'll have it, I guess. But then they put out X-Men number 10 or 11, I think it was, where they did that whole thing just condensed into like one single cover. So I'll probably be getting that one too. But anyway, so there's that. And like I said, picked up a box recently to put a lot of this stuff in because I figure I need to start organizing things and whatnot. So that way it's somewhat easy to keep up with. But as far as the Penguin goes, right? I was saying something about that in the title. So I picked that up. I finished that up the other day, right? It took me a little while, but it's only 8 episodes, about an hour long for each, right? Coworkers kept talking about it. I kept not watching it because I was in the middle of Twisted Metal and, well, I guess just Twisted Metal. Either way, so then finally got some time. And from the first episode, right, I was like, this is going somewhere, right? And it's based off of the most recent Batman movie with, I don't know what that dude's name was. He looked like a fairly thin white guy. I don't know. That's not descriptive at all. But either way, it's kind of based off of that universe, right? Because they're playing into what happened after the Riddler blew up a dam or something. I don't know. Something happened with the Riddler blowing something up. And so then this starts to take place, and it's just basically the Penguin guy building up his little empire, trying to take over the city, doing all that, turning people against each other. It's the whole thing. But anyways, from the first episode, I was like, I mean, I wasn't like immediately hooked, like, oh my God, I have to finish this. But it was like, I want to know what's happening here, But then as you start watching more and like more people start showing up into the stories and stuff, that's when it starts to become more and more like, okay, I am really into this, And then you start to kind of wish it was more than 8 episodes in a sense, just so you could like see more of it, But at the same time, it's like, it's going to take me long enough to get through these. And I'm good with like this being short, but good, because sometimes when things get a little bit longer or there's more of it, it can just become a little mundane. People said that about Prison Break after a while, right? Which makes sense. First season made perfect sense, right? Because I think it was only supposed to be like a season, maybe 2. But then when they stretched it out to like 4 or 5, obviously you're going to start to see some flaws. But anyway, so the Penguin thing, I'm watching it, going through all the episodes. You're seeing how everything's kind of playing out and like how crafty this dude can be at times, It's unfortunate he didn't really use his powers for good or whatever. He probably could have achieved great success, but like in a more legal way. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm a big fan of it. I'm curious to see where things go because the closing minutes of episode 8 kind of throw some extra things in there and you're like, oh, well, when is this happening? And like, what is going to happen? So I don't know when that season is coming around or anything, but I will say this. If you happen to have HBO Max, go ahead, check it out. It's worth doing. But anyways, that's enough out of me. I'm gonna go watch Dynamite. Probably won't be very good because AEW hasn't been very good lately. I like that they exist and I like what they're doing. I just wish they would do it just a little bit better. But sometimes companies just, the ups and downs, man. Maybe they're just in a little downswing right now, and who knows? 2 months from now, maybe they'll be up here again. We'll see what happens. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. A couple of videos went out earlier today. If you're into like shoe related things, one might be going up tomorrow, definitely by Friday. If you're into shoe related things. Also, I have some some cards coming in. Marvel Masterpiece XLs this time. Yeah, because the last video was the 92 Platinums. The next video will be XLs. I have 3 hobby boxes and 3 blaster boxes coming in, right? So I only need about like 20-ish to finish that set. So I feel like this is going to put me right there at the end to where I will probably just buy the next few that I need off like eBay, like individually, right? Because this stuff gets expensive, and like buying hobby boxes and blasters when you're just trying to get like the last 5 cards, it's not financially smart. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's what's coming up on the horizon. So, and you also, Christian Pierce, you too have a good night. I hope your night is even better than mine, as a matter of fact. But now I'm going to get on out of here. I'll see you guys at some other point. I don't know when my next little live session will be, but I guess we'll find out together, huh? All right. Later, people.